Hi everyone, I'm Ron Valenzia, and I'm going to do a product unboxing and a review of the intuitiveness of a drum pad. I will tell you more. I'm going to leave it as a surprise, as a mystery. Well, you probably read the title, but okay. So I am opening up. This was just delivered a few hours ago, and I am opening up for the very first time in front of you, so you know exactly everything that you would get if you ordered this. So I am a drummer first. I started playing drums 1980, something like that. And I know, that means I'm old. And I had ventured into piano and guitar and a lot of other instruments. I think piano is my main instrument right now. That's how I've made a living as a music teacher. But drumming is number one to me. It is my default talent, so to speak, at least as far as I'm concerned. And I've been very interested in getting a drum pad. This is a sampler pad, but I'll explain what that really means in a minute here, just in case you're new. So anyway, the packaging was quite simple. As you saw, it was just one little thing. But the box here, this is pretty sturdy. So the Avatar PD-708, there is a 705, a PD-705 version, which is made more kit-friendly is what I've seen online and stuff like that. I did not order it. I did not play that instrument. I just heard, did a little bit of research before purchasing this. I needed a drum pad. I wanted to be able to do some sampling. I wanted to be able to have like a miniature drum setup for recording purposes and for simple recording purposes. I use my V drums for more accurate digital recording of drums. And just FYI, I use Stephen Slate 5.5 as my drum sounds, and they work amazingly. I love them. I think they sound fantastic. So I did a lot of research, and Alesis has a Pro version, Roland has a Pro SX, I think it's just an SX Pro sampler pad. And I tried the Alesis version. I was not very happy with it. There was a lot of crosstalk between the pads. The pads weren't really great. I didn't feel comfortable with it. I just took it back, and it was, I think it was like $500 or $600 at the time. So it wasn't a major investment, but it was a significant investment. And I thought, for $600 or whatever it was at the time, it just wasn't. I didn't think that the quality met the value, and I would had to have returned it and seen if there was another one that would work better. So I just opted to take it back. So the Roland one, it looks absolutely absurdly fantastic, the SX Pro. And I was very interested in that, but even on sale, even on a Black Friday sale, it only went down to $1,000. I don't anticipate playing this enough to validate the $1,000 price tag. So did some research, and I found this. I believe it's made in China. And I've done, and the research that I found is that it works very similarly to the Alesis as far as setup and as far as functionality and as far as the bells and whistles, basically, of what this instrument has. I am curious about the quality because this was half the price of the Alesis at the time of this video. This was, I think it was $299, something like that. I think it cost just a little bit over $300 after taxes and so forth. Anyway, I felt that this would be a better value for an instrument that I'm not going to use every single day. This is not something that I plan to use every day. It's something that I will use sparingly, but at the same time, being a percussionist, I might find new uses for it over time. So I wanted to take a chance. So I'm taking a chance. So I don't know this company, Avatar. I know that there is a parent company that I'm not remembering the name, and I know that they have a few items under that name. but I really don't know a whole lot about them. I did do some reviews on this instrument and the 705, and people were pleasantly surprised by the quality, saying that it was pretty good. So I wanted to take a chance. So here we are. So as you can see, it's quite simple. This is one thing that I really also want to test out, because a lot of people had said in their reviews, okay, a lot meaning two, sorry. Two people said in their reviews that the instruction manual didn't cover some basic things. I know that they all said that there's going to be a firmware update that I'm going to need to do. But here's what I want to do. I want to see how much of this is going to be intuitive as opposed to me having to read a manual. Now, intuitive for a percussionist may be different than intuitive for somebody that's never played drums, never played with electronic drums or anything like that. I have a lot of experience in electronic drumming. So I want to see how intuitive it is to someone like in my situation. So this is interesting, and obviously this is because this had to travel overseas, and so I guess the mount, if this was being shipped to Europe, it would be different. So interesting. I think that's really, really super cool that you know, that they thought that far in advance with this. So far, that's kind of cool. The packaging just seems very typical and right on par. So nothing seems out of the ordinary. This is fairly light, a couple pounds. Styrofoam, good. Yeah, so far so good. This feels good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the packaging is all as expected. Nothing one way or another about. I'm gonna see how this thing is made in a few seconds. I'll give you some close-up views of this in a few seconds as well. So don't go anywhere. By the way, if you like the channel, if you like that I'm giving a very, very honest review that is not sponsored by anyone, you're getting a very 100% honest review right now. There is no secondary option there. Okay, pads feel, actually they feel really good. Yeah, so I'm able to actually push down on them. They're not too hard, not too crisp or anything like that. Here, I'm gonna bring this a little closer to the camera just for a second, just so you can get a little bit overview, and I'll go slowly by here so you can kind of see all the buttons and knobs. Obviously, it's not turned on, it's not plugged in. I'm getting there, step at a time. There you can see the buttons and knobs, the pads. Let's take a look at the back here. And I'll go slow so you could see all of the functionality. I've done a lot online, so I haven't even looked at the back yet. So you're seeing it before me, actually, because I haven't even studied the back. But I remember online, there's like USB, there's the power insert, obviously. There's going to be pad inputs like hi-hat pads, kick pads, other tom-tom pads that you can plug into this. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, let's go through it real quick. It shouldn't be very difficult. Here's the power. Here's your outputs. Here's a headphone output, which is what I'll have hooked up to the speaker here. Here's the gain level. USB for importing. This is where you would import a lot of the sounds with a thumb drive or a USB drive. And then this is a USB. I think what is this? A USB A? I think they call it. I think it was A. But anyway, that USB, they say that you could plug this into your computer and then drag and drop samples into the unit directly. So that's what I saw online. Then you've got old-fashioned MIDI. Remember this? It's still a thing. Gosh, I remember when MIDI was new. Scary. Anyway, my first electronic drum set, I think it was a Simmons drum set, and it was all MIDI, and I was like, wow, this is weird. So as you can see, so the pad inputs, there are 8 technical pad inputs, but what these are stereo inputs. So what that really means is if you have a stereo to 2 mono 1/4-inch cords, or if you have a pad that's a dual sensor that takes a stereo plug, you can use a stereo to stereo cable for that. Otherwise, you would use a stereo to 2 mono 1/4 inch cables, and then you can actually plug in 2 different pads if it was just a single pad and not a dual zone pad. A dual zone pad just means that there's 2 transducers that pick up at different areas or different strengths of the strike of the pad itself, and then they send out a signal. If you, like, for example, hit the rim of a drum set of a drum pad, that would send a signal to one side, and if you hit the head of the drum pad, that would send a signal to the other. I hope that made sense. Hope I'm not talking too fast for you. And this looks like this is pedal control. Yep, that's what it says. So these are your pedal controls. They include this, which is kind of neat. Okay, you know, you need this, right? Because most headphones jacks are 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, are 1/8 inch now. They used to be 1/4 inch, so they wanted to give you that option. So that worked out all right. So now I'm gonna plug this puppy in and see what we get. I'm gonna try to figure this out on the fly without reading any documentation whatsoever. So, wish me luck. The one thing I did forget, and I'm getting right now, the cables. Let me see. Well, I'm not going to need that. I'm not going to need the cable. I'm going to use the headphone out. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of using, now normally I would use 2 1/4 inch cables, like guitar cables, and I would take them out of the left and the right. But like I said, I'm just going to use this little 1/8 inch headphone type cable. Let's see if I can get that to fit. Seems to be a, okay, nope, fits fine. It fits fine. There we go. So I've got the power cable, got the volume knob all the way up, and I've got that plugged in to my speaker behind me. I am going to turn this unit on, the power. Let me turn it on so you guys can see it. So you can see what it says. The avatar logo, buttons light up. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Now, I believe that there was a review that said that I can change these colors. I think that would be helpful in certain drum kit applications, because that way you can remember, okay, if you, let's say a color represents snare drum or a color represents hi-hat. Well, you could do that through each of the kits that you set up in here. So the color thing is kind of neat. And I know the Roland does that. For this, I don't know, but I thought I remember seeing somebody say that you can. So if they're accurate, I will find that out. By the way, I will do a review, a more in-depth review of this later. I will actually read this if you need to know more about the item. For now, like I said, my main purpose has just been to get this up and running and see if I can see how intuitive it is to just get it up and running and start this. All right, so I'm gonna need my glasses and eventually a drumstick or 2. So it just says basic kit is what it's saying right now. Oh, that is so cool. I do like the color thing. I have to say, it's such a simple thing, right? It's just not a big deal, but for whatever reason, I'm really loving it. So I think here's a couple of key features right off the bat that I'm loving already. So, I have this plugged into the headphone jack. Actually, you know what? I am mistaken. That was a line in jack. Oh, interesting. That was a line in. So now I have it in the output jack. Oh, that's interesting. Super cool. All right, so I'm gonna get a special cable that's gonna help make this a little bit better. So let me turn that down. I should have done that first. By the way, you don't leave your volume up when you plugging in things and so forth. So I thought that was the headphone jack. The headphone jack is actually, I think these are their headphone jacks, and they're in the front. Well, let's find out. And I like the volume. Oh, look at that. There's 2 headphone jacks. oh, let's give this a shot here. All right. This is, like I said, I'm trying to figure this out intuitively. So if I seem like an idiot, it's on purpose. Because I want to see how easy it is for people to just turn this thing on and see what happens. So, and there's a volume right here, a headphone volume. This seems to be like your headphone type of thing. There's also master volume right here. And then your effects are right here, and you can turn on and off your effects. All your sounds off. That's like just kind of like a mute button. It didn't light up. I don't know if there's a reason for that or not. So, all right, now we're gonna see what's going on. But first, it's cold in here. That's why I'm wearing this jacket though. So let's see what we got. Oh, look at this. Awesome. Gonna get a drumstick or two. Check it out for a second. And I have drumsticks right here. So I'm very excited about this. So far, it's been really easy. There's been nothing out of the ordinary in a negative sense at all. It's all been pretty cool. Sorry for the accent, just having some fun with it. All right, so, oh. Hi-hat, tom, tom, tom. So here, I'll play it upside down first. And I'll play it upside down for your benefit so you can kind of see what it would be like if you were playing it, where all the instruments would be. I think the bass drum was here. So you got that. Oh, cool. So that one's velocity. So if I hit it really hard, obviously it opens up the hi-hat. Quieter. All right, the pads don't feel bad at all. That's a serious bass. Like, seriously? I wonder if I could do something about that bass. Yeah. That's a serious bass sound. I'm telling you what. My very first impressions are pretty positive. Tell you what, sound quality. I don't know if you can really hear the bassness of this. The bass sound of this is really good. Okay, these pads. Okay, a little rim knock and so forth. All right, I'm gonna turn it around now. Give it a shot here. Give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Yeah, this is, my very first impressions are fairly positive right now. Not fairly positive, very positive. So get that hi-hat. So I would probably take the sensitivity down on this one pad so I can have a little bit more room before it opens up, because I'm barely touching it. Yeah, see. So I'm getting used to it, and I'm sure you can do that in here. There's so many buttons in here. One of these buttons has got to work. All right, or so yeah, the hi-hat thing is definitely a thing with me. I've got to get used to that. This says, there's a button on here that says BT. I'm assuming that means Bluetooth. Again, I have not looked at this purposely. I want to see how much of this is intuitive. All right, so that's the volume. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. Maybe I won't get such a big bang out of it. All right, so let's see what other sounds we've got. Play around with the sounds. Here's the green. That's just super cool. So this says rock music. Oh, okay, yeah, now with the rock music, I can hit that hi-hat a little bit heavier. So there's a couple times that didn't trigger, but it might have been just me not hitting the center. So let me see, I'm gonna test that out a little bit more. Okay. All right. We're trying to be intuitive here. Okay, that was interesting. Some kind of guitar loop. Oh, wow. Okay. That was pretty cool. I promise you, I have done no research on this thing beyond those couple of videos. I never learned how to do any of this. I'm just kind of using intuition and my prior experience with other types of electronic drums. Nice blue one here. Oh, more of a metal bass. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a little chill. Oh, still going. Oh, that's cool. So one is on, next time is off. That's kind of common sense, right? I'm telling you, this feels really good. I mean, it's you use the neck of the drumstick to play it. You're not supposed to use the tip. I guess can, but it's no reason to do that. And that's a great bell sound right there. The cool thing also is that because it's a sampler, you can always upload new samples. So if you buy samples from anywhere, or I could use my excuse me, I can use my Steven Slate drums and put them in here to really improve this a little bit. I mean, actually, to be honest with you, these sounds are really good for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Nice little 80s style sound. Oh. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Wow, that was a nice little thing. So it appears to me, so I'm on kit number 4 and it's called Trap 1. I'm gonna scroll backwards to see how many kits are actually in here. It says here that there are 100. It goes up to kit 100. So it goes from 1 to 100. All right, so that's pretty sweet. And this one's labeled new kit, so this might mean that there's nothing on there yet, and that's why we're not hearing sound. So let me see how many are pre-programmed already. This knob just is very convenient. This might be the first negative, but I'll say that it's a minor negative. I mean, it is a minor thing. I'm noticing that this isn't turning evenly. It seems to favor one side. But honestly, it's changing the numbers accurately here, so it's not a thing. New kit. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, we've got sounds on that one. Okay, can that stop? Oh, that was interesting. Oh. Oh, that's right out of the Star Wars and 80s movies. All right, maybe not Star Wars, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so there are 30 programmed kits in here, it looks like. So I'm at kit 31, which is the first one that doesn't have any sounds on it. Okay, that's a little bit odd. Okay, so it sounds like this is very common sense. It's easy. Let's go over the. I want to go over the buttons here real quick for us. Again, I'll do a more in-depth video at a later time, but I want to kind of get the basic lay of the land of this. I'm going to turn it around for you so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to make sure that the camera is aimed properly and so forth. All right, so you should be able to see. Yeah, I don't like the glare of that light. There we go. That should help. Oh, it's a light behind me. That makes it harder. Okay, anyway, sorry guys. Just kind of going on a whim here. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'll just stay right here and block that one light. That seems to be an issue. All right, power button, obviously. Effects on and off. So on and off effects. I haven't even tried that yet. I don't know what kind of impact that's going to have just yet. Here's the master button, the phones, headphones button. The headphones outputs are 2 of these. So I was really wrong. That's a line in. So that means you can plug in another instrument, a guitar or whatever, I would imagine, and have it all come out the quarter-inch outputs or the headphones here. Yet I haven't tried it, so I don't know that for a fact. That's what common sense would tell me. It looks like you can have up to 3. Well, you have 3 function buttons here. So you got the pad volume, looks like kit effects here, and tempo. I know that there are, like click tracks and stuff like that to play along with. I know that exists. This is easy enough to understand, where you can move the cursor around. Pad, so I would imagine that this is going to give us the option of selecting a certain pad, and there you go. You can see where it changed sound. Okay, so, oh gosh, I don't know how to make it stop. I don't want to hit it again because I might keep going. All right, so so you could change the sound sample. I'm wondering what that is. Yep, auto trigger. So this is all your sampling menu buttons that you'll need to know. Kit set. I would imagine that this is putting everything all together and kind of like a universal settings for kits. Again, I'm going off of basic information that I've learned throughout the years. Tempo button, that's probably for your click or for any kind of sequenced track that you have in here that's MIDI. Utility, that's probably going to get into the things where you can update the firmware, add different sounds and so forth. I'm sure that that's kind of where the utility button is. Let's see what it says here. Wave export, so you can export sounds, you can load USB, they're right there. USB device mode. So that's all important stuff. Pad Q. Let's see if I can exit out of this. So this looks like a return button to exit out. Now I'm going to hit Pad Q. I don't know what that means. All right, I'll have to do some research. Like I said, I'm going to do another video after I read this and learn about the instrument. I'm going to do another review and give you in-depth. I just want to kind of go through this. What else is a system stuff? Oh yeah, master effects, your click. There's the click. Audio in and out. So, ooh, interesting. Audio in and outs. So that's something I want to learn about. I want to learn to see if there is something that can be done. Like, would it send to mono? Would it send it stereo? Whatever. And then our faithful Bluetooth over here. Let me exit out of this first. And then our Bluetooth, so I can hook up a Bluetooth here. Our OK button or enter button. Common sense, that's a return button. This looks like just a kind of forward button. Then we've got our minus and plus if you don't want to use the dial. That's how easy this seems to be laid out. If you notice, it also puts over here the trigger 1, 2, 3, 4. I would imagine that these are the triggers that where if you're playing any of those instruments, the light would light up if you have them plugged in and you're playing them. And then here's the pedal as well. All in all, I have to, seriously, I am overall really impressed with this so far. I have not seen anything that's given me any concern other than the really, really small thing about this knob. If you look, take a look at the knob. As you can see, it's turning everything perfectly, right? There's no function issue. It's just I'm looking at this knob and I noticed that it's just not centered, perfectly centered. That's one thing that you would get from like Roland. They would never allow that to happen, right? No Roland instrument I've ever had has had that kind of issue. And no, I'm not a spokesperson for Roland either. This looks like a little protective cover that I'm going to leave on there for the time being until I get used to where everything goes. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. My overall sense for this is that, wow, it's a lot better than I anticipated. It has met and exceeded my expectations. The pads feel comfortable. I do know that you can layer in within the pad so you can get multiple sounds on each. I don't know how many. I think it might be 3. But again, you saw that I have not even bothered to open that up. Intuitive, I would have to say, if I were rating it, intuitively, honestly, I would say for the basic function of getting it up and running, just the basics, I would give it an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10. As far as intuitive nature, as far as learning how to load samples, I think when we went through those menus, I could see where it would be not very difficult to figure out. And I would probably go somewhere in the 7 to 9, maybe even 8 again. In intuitive fashion, I will wait to give a final judgment on that. Sound quality, excellent. No problems. I think this is a 16-bit system, so if you're looking for a 32-bit system, this is not it. But again, I'm going to dig into the details and learn more about this and be able to give you a more in-depth view of this. So right now, I'm intrigued, I'm impressed, and I'm pretty excited about what this has to offer right now. Let's get the camera right. So I really think that this might be a really good value and perfect for what I need, since it's not something I'm going to use every single day. Now, the casing on the outside, just so you know, it is like plastic. It's a black plastic on the outside. So clearly you have to keep it in some kind of case if you're going to take it on the road with you and you're going to play it out and so forth. And I'd also advise you to get, I had the old Roland Octopad way back in the day. And I had like a little plate, and that plate plugged into a stand, and then it kept it nice and sturdy. I would recommend doing that as well. There's one online that is made for this. I did not purchase it because I wanted to see if I, first of all, like the unit, and knowing that if I know that I'm not going to return it or anything like that, then I would purchase the stand. Honestly, I have no intentions on returning this. Unless there is something I find out that's defective later on when I dig into the weeds of this, or through the firmware update or whatever. Honestly, I have zero intention on returning this. For the value, it was, like I said, it was around $300. 1/3 of the Roland if the Roland was on sale. Okay, and now I'm not comparing the quality to the Roland. I would say that the Roland is probably going to be a little bit higher quality, maybe. My guess is. I've played them in the store, so I kind of get the basic sense of it. But anyway, if you have any other questions, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I do a lot of music instrument reviews. I've done a lot of instruments reviews, and I'm going to be doing a lot more. And like I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a more in-depth review of this Avatar PD-708. That's it for now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond right away, as fast as possible. I want to build up a good audience, so it's important to me where this goes. All right, thanks, guys. Peace out.